What's up, guys?
I mean, 5 contracts, that's pretty incredible on a night, especially with 4 fights, right? So, I mean, just talk about how you're feeling, right? How you feeling right now to have this thing back? We know how much you enjoy, but how you feeling after the first one's done?
Yeah, I do know. I love this shit, and how'd you guys have that fight score? The second one.
Second one's the other way.
The other way?
Yeah.
2-1, right? Yeah. Did everybody have it that way? Yeah. So it was the right thing to do. Listen, I feel, like I said up there, I felt like that kid won. I thought he won the fight 2-1, but the judges gave it to the other kid. And listen, he took the fight on 2 weeks' notice. I respect that, but the other kid fought his ass off and did what you do when you know a kid took a fight on 2 weeks' notice. He kept pressure on him and did everything he could to try to win the fight. So give them both a shot.
It's nice, we've asked you about this time and time again over the seasons. Would you ever do this? It finally gets done. Does that open the door to it happening more frequently, or do you feel like this was like a pretty rare occasion?
Yeah, I think it was rare. Listen, there's probably going to be other situations during the season where I think the judges are wrong, and I would probably go the other way, or at least give the kid another shot to come back and do it again. We know we've all walked out some nights and saying that was a horrible decision. I'm not going to say there won't be another one of those. And if they do, I'll do everything I can to try to make it right.
Yeah. I did want to ask you about the 4 fights tonight, right? I mean, you famously say, like, you used to know everything about this business. With COVID now, you never know what's going on. Does it scare you a little bit? Because this, a normal fight card, you lose a couple fights, no big deal. But, I mean, are you scared that this could happen frequently where we're 4 or maybe even 3 on a night?
It will. It will happen. This is the world we live in now. This is gonna happen. And, listen, I could do 2 of these. I could do 10 of these. I could do, it's all good. So however this thing plays out, I mean, look at the fights that happened tonight. And a couple of these guys came in on late notice. It's the matchmaking on this show is fucking excellent. Excellent. I love it.
I do want to ask you about AJ Fletcher. As you said, should be number 1 in SportsCenter tomorrow. I mean, what can you say about that? It was a pretty unbelievable performance.
Yeah, it's first of all, the kid he fought, right? Leonardo, his opponent's records are 36-16, and he looked damn good, and he was dropping some big shots. He's a tough kid, real guy, and you don't see too many exciting flying knee knockouts like that on somebody as legit as Leonardo was.
Yeah. I did want to ask you also about Diego Lopes. You were high on Brito. You said he might be the next great Brazilian featherweight. But that unfortunate ending, right? I mean, were you pressed enough by Diego to bring him back at some point or give him another opportunity?
Well, I think you're going to see that kid again. That's another kid that came in on short notice, and look at the fight he fought. Kid's got a great chin, and for being so good at jiu-jitsu, he's got a great chin, and he's not afraid to throw his hands. Yeah. So it's definitely not the last you're going to see of him.
Nice. Last question for me. I wanted to ask you about Laura Sanko. She was obviously in the booth. She was everywhere tonight, actually. She was doing everything.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, kind of what you thought about, how that decision was made. And I mean, it's a little bit historical, right, to have a woman in the booth this evening. So what did you think about it?
Very, yeah. She was running around like a lunatic tonight. When I walked in there, she seemed a little frazzled. I said, there you go. Be careful what you wish for, kid. Okay? Be careful what you wish for. But congratulations to her. She's earned it. She deserves it. She belongs there. And she's as educated and as good at talking about fights as anybody else in the game. So I think tonight was the beginning of a great career for her.
Do you think she'll continue with the season in that role where she's doing every role?
Yeah, listen, the Little Miss I don't have enough to do has plenty to do now, okay? So I guarantee I ain't going to be getting any text messages or phone calls from her that she doesn't have enough to do anymore. Like I said, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, Dana, I'm just curious, right before the unfortunate eye poke, would you agree that Brito had the best performance tonight?
Yeah, AJ Fletcher is pretty tough to. I mean, that's absolutely. If we did one performance of the night, I mean, that would be it. But yes, he looked damn good. What I did like is he wasn't afraid to jump in his guard and wasn't afraid of his submission game. They had a deep arm bar. He got out of the arm bar. He had a deep guillotine choke on him. He got out of that. Had a leg lock on him, which that kid loves leg locks, and you know, he wasn't afraid anywhere the fight went. I think that once this kid starts to feel comfortable here and like this is his house, and you know, I think you see great things from him.
He looks like a fun one. I'm curious, we just had The Ultimate Fighter and then we've just had this tonight. What do you get to see differently from the guys in Tough and the guys in this show?
Yeah, so Tough is a completely different animal because, you know, you're living in the house, you have to make weight several times, you got to fight these guys that you're living with, and you know, you know the drill with The Ultimate Fighter. And here, you're coming in, the matchmaking on these shows is excellent. It's just, I can't say enough about how well these are match made. And you're literally fighting the toughest guy in the world that is available for you to fight to get into the UFC. So both are incredibly hard, but different.
Episode 1, 5 contracts and 4 fights. So Sean and Mick asking you maybe let's call off because they know that they've got a bigger roster and bigger roster and bigger roster?
No, we're not worried about bigger roster. Especially, we're not as worried about the roster right now, especially with COVID. I mean, you know, with all this COVID shit going on, a fat roster isn't bad.
Just in case you need replacements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Good? Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming.